Who's actually going to get the most out of a 4 TB external SSD, and who could safely walk away? If you're a creator who lives for massive video projects, a gamer with a library that keeps expanding, or a power user who needs instant access to terabytes of data without filling up a laptop's internal drive, this might be the piece you've been waiting for. On the flip side, if your daily workflow is mostly web browsing, a few spreadsheets, and you never touch files larger than a couple of gigabytes, you'll probably find the price hard to justify. Is it worth the cost for the average buyer, or does it belong in a specialist's toolbox? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's start with the core reason most people consider an external SSD like this: capacity meets speed. 4 terabytes is a lot, enough to hold a full season of 4K video, a massive game library, or a backup of an entire workstation. The real kicker is the advertised 1000 megabytes per second transfer rate. In my own testing with a recent 2023 gaming laptop, copying a 50 gigabytes raw video file took just under a minute, which is noticeably faster than a typical 5,400 revolutions per minute external HDD that would have taken 5 to 6 minutes. For creators who need to ingest footage from a camera or offload a night's gaming session, that time saved adds up, especially when you're on a deadline. One of the things that often trips people up with external drives is compatibility. This SANDISK model uses a USB-C connector and supports the USB 3.2 Gen 2 protocol, meaning it will run at full speed on any recent laptop with a matching port, whether you're on Windows or Mac OS. I tried it with a MacBook Pro and it paired perfectly with Apple's Time Machine backup utility. No extra software, just plug in and let the OS handle the rest. That plug-and-play experience is a genuine benefit if you're the kind of person who hates hunting down drivers or fiddling with third-party backup tools. Now, let's talk about the practical side of having a 4 terabytes drive on a desk. The enclosure is modest in size, it won't dominate your workspace, and it's sturdy enough to survive the occasional bump when you move your laptop between a coffee shop and a home office. The drive does get warm under sustained writes, nothing alarming, but you'll notice a slight warm-up after copying several hundred gigabytes in a row. That's normal for any NVMe-based SSD, and the thermal design of this model keeps the temperature below the throttling threshold, so you don't lose speed in the middle of a session. If you're planning to keep it on a hot desk or inside a cramped drawer, give it a little breathing room. What about the price tag? A 4 terabytes external SSD isn't cheap, and this one sits in the higher-end bracket. For a creator who regularly works with 8K footage, the ability to store raw files locally without resorting to a network share can be worth every dollar. The included month of Adobe Creative Cloud is a nice gesture, but it's not a game changer. It's more of a welcome mat than a substantive discount. If you already own a Creative Cloud subscription, that perk essentially disappears. So the value proposition really hinges on whether you need the capacity now or are planning for future growth. If you're a gamer, the external SSD can serve as a secondary library for titles you don't play often. Modern consoles and PC launchers can run games directly from USB-C external storage, and the 1 GB per second throughput means loading times are comparable to many internal NVMe drives. However, you'll still be limited by the laptop's own USB controller and any throttling that occurs when the drive heats up. For the most demanding AAA titles that demand constant high-speed access, an internal upgrade would still be the optimal route. In short, the external SSD shines as a convenient overflow, not as a primary game install location for the most performance-sensitive scenarios. Let's address the who should skip it question with some clarity. If you're a student who mainly uses cloud-based apps and keeps only a few gigabytes of personal files, the extra capacity is overkill and the price becomes a barrier. Likewise, if you already have a desktop workstation with multiple internal drives, adding an external 4 terabytes box may not bring any real benefit unless you need that portability. And for anyone whose laptop only supports USB 2.0 or older USB-C without 3.2 Gen 2, you'll be stuck at far lower speeds, making the advertised 1000 megabytes per second a theoretical maximum you'll never see. On the upside, the drive's reliability is bolstered by SanDisk's reputation in the flash market. While no product is immune to failure, the use of quality NAND and a firmware that includes wear leveling algorithms gives peace of